percent. Yeah, you're late. Yeah. Y'all come on in, sit down. Pull your chair up. We got to do this social distancing. Hopefully this is the last time we do this. Okay, we're here tonight. You know, actually, the budget has been publicized. I know all of y'all have gone through your budget, the budgeting process. All of you have line items on here. To start with, if any of you got questions, any department here that's here tonight got any questions or anything that you feel that is not right here that we may have to go back. I can't believe that our tax assessor and everything. I mean, this would be the time to cut their budget. That's for sure. Joel McCormick, he's actually really busy. He said if you got any questions from him or for him, we can call him. He's got some warrants he's working on from what I understand. All right, if y'all don't have anything, you know, we'll go ahead. We got a few people here from the public. You got any questions? Anything you want to bring up? I know you've looked over the budget. Anything that you want to question? We got everyone here pretty much that pertains to the budget. If you've got any questions to their line item as far as their expenditures, now's the time to. There comes the rest of the sheriff's department right there. Yeah.
There's 2 chairs here. You come in. 2 over there.
Yeah.
2 here, 2 over there.
Yeah. Okay, commissioners, you got anything you want to go over? I know y'all been over and over this. We've been working on this for several months now.
Question?
Yes.
I was looking over the Commission County Administration budget, and I noted that there was a new expense, 2 new expenses I'm familiar with. The first one was a principal payment on capital lease, and the amount of that is $98,000. Could you please tell me what that is?
Becca?
Yeah. So those are some.
You got a mic?
Yeah. Can you not hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Those are some revenue bonds that are currently being paid out of SPLOST. That.
Paid out of SPLOST?
Yeah. So what we're doing is they'll even be paid out of SPLOST in next year's budget, but in a new SPLOST, in the new SPLOST, it's not allowed to be paid out of the new SPLOST. So what we're doing is we're accruing for those funds. That way, when we do have to pay for them out of the general fund, that money is there to pay them. So I've had a couple questions about that, and I gave an example of one maybe a little easier to understand than that. In my house, we've lived there going on 19 years, and we've had the same air and heating unit for all 19 years. It's a builder's model. It's running fine, but we know that next year, the year after that, we're going to have to replace that unit because they don't last much longer than that. So if we have the money now, it would be prudent to save that money that we have now in order to pay for it in the future. So that's what we're doing now. We know in the future that we're going to have to pay those bonds out of the general fund. So we're accruing or saving that money right now while we can, if that makes sense. Okay?
Next line item is entitled Other Debt. Can you tell me what debt
It is the same thing.
The same thing.
Both of those deal with the 2 different IDA bonds that we have.
That's the IDA bond to buy property with.
Yes, to expand the industrial park. Yeah.
IDA bonds.
And that's only like 41% of the total bonded money for this year, because the rest of it's on economic development.
Yes, I think it's like 80. I don't know the exact percent numbers, but it's like 80% in the admin department. It's not? Okay.
Not one of my figures. It was like 41%.
Okay.
When you report every month or done on our report, and you do the spot, or you do the, on that sheet of paper, or what's in the bank and all that stuff, that is what you're reporting on. That number.
When we say the debt service, yes.
So we do report on that every month. That's that debt service when they do.
Okay, thank you. I have another
But
question. I have noticed that there was two similarly titled. One was principal payment on capital and in economic development department. And then there's an interest payment in there. Those are both are new from over
Yes.
last year. Can you or
It,
whoever-
it is the same thing, that's the split. Part of it is in the county admin budget, and part of it is in the IDA budget.
Now, does that reduce the SPOS obligation on bonds? I may be a little confused, but from a SPOS, would you say
It's paid out of the current SPOS.
current SPOS?
Mhm.
And it's moving over to the general fund? So that reduces the obligation of SPOS by that much?
The new SPOS, not the old.
That would be starting,
Well, it would not, it would
Next
not.
2021.
It wasn't written in the new SPOS for those to be paid out of the new SPOS, so they will not be.
okay, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions?
I didn't add that in there.
What?
I didn't add the bottom one in.
Oh, okay.
So
So
the
it-
41's not right.
Yeah.
The
I think
41's just one of them.
Roughly 80-20 split. I do have the exact percentages, but they're not in front of me, but it's roughly an 80-20% split.
Okay. Our road department just showed up. Billy, you got anything that you need to question on your, as far as your line item, as far as SPOS?
I know, it looks good. The only increase on mine was for the vacant position that we have had. It's not out of SPOS. We got the money figured in for the extra help, and we got a lot of work to do with the county road 6 and all.
Okay.
Other than that, mine's right
Okay. All right.
on all three of them.
Okay. All right.
Can I also, is it okay if I speak?
Yes, go ahead. No,
I
that's
want
what
to
we're here
let the
for.
public know that any changes that we have, we did have one change between when it was published last Thursday. We had a change today. That new version, which is version 4, has been put out on the website. So
Talk a little
if we
closer.
have any changes at all to the budget, we will be sure to put that out on the website so you can see what the changes are.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
And it's on the main page. If you go to our main Dade County,
Yep.
dadecounty-georgia.gov, or .gov. If you scroll all the way down, it's in the news flashes
Okay.
on the bottom of that page.
Okay. All right. Mar, you got anything to add?
Yeah, well, something different, if that's okay.
Do what?
I just noticed, I talked to Tom Tombrello, he's not here tonight, but the volunteer fire departments are all over the place. Some of them are, he's losing 1,000, or he was, unless it's changed. Some of them are getting as much as 6,000.
So your question is what?
Let me get to the
Well,
fire departments.
The variance.
All the supplements are the same. So
Yep,
they'll get the
yep.
same supplement.
They are.
The other, like the repair and maintenance vehicle, you'll see here, like, which one am I on? The South Dade Fire Department. It says repair and maintenance vehicle equipment. They reimburse us for those. So you'll see a corresponding revenue up there. So it's according to just, it's based on history of what repair and maintenance they've had. Sorry, it's on page 24, the one I was looking at.
Which one was it? I was looking at New Home, and they're down 1,000. Look at it.
Down 1,000?
Yeah, the variance is 1,000, so they're down 1,000.
And
They've
it
been
probably has just to
cutting.
do with the,
Yeah, repair and maintenance, radio repair and maintenance of
Yeah,
equipment.
they reimburse that back to the county, so
Yeah.
the supplement's still the same, all that.
Yeah, the supplement's right on all of them.
They
That
base
was just my-
that, they base that on the repairs and maintenance of their vehicles, and it's paid back.
and so it's just based on historically what they've had in repairs and maintenance, because,
It's not that they're short that money.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're not actually giving that, it's paid back out of that monthly.
I couldn't explain it to Tom, so I asked it in the open here, so.
Robert, have you got anything that you have want to add, or anything you've noticed on the budget and on any line item? Is that a yes or a no? Well, you didn't do it. You got a mic you got to talk into.
Now, I will say that we, at this time, the sad thing is our budget starts 3 weeks and the state's doesn't start for 6 months, 5 months.
Yeah, that's why we have to watch our budgeting of the health department, you know, and all, yeah, yeah.
What they're gonna cut, and it
Yeah.
can come back and haunt every county in Georgia.
And
Hey, I did, when I talked to Angie Galloway, she did, our new tax commissioner-elect. She has done a good job cutting her budget, but she also said if the state comes back, dumps more work on her, that may have to.
Well, that's in any department, you know, but we'll have to come back and look and see, because, you know, they can force us to a certain extent, but if it's not something that is mandatory that they need, we won't fund it.
Just last month, the secondary of the
Yeah.
drives was the scanners.
Yeah.
That we had to put at each one of the stations
Yeah.
and scan the documents,
Yeah.
and that was on the county.
That's right, we got hit right there, you know.
We
I
used
mean,
Splosh to.
no choice, we had to do it.
$194 government price.
But it's something that's been happening ever since you've been commissioner, even before, you know. I mean, it's those unfunded mandates, you know, and it's just out there. You know, it's just, you don't know. You know?
Robert's preached on that, I don't know how many times.
I know
We did in Atlanta.
Exactly right, exactly.
Yeah, they keep promising we're not gonna have them, but they keep rolling out. And I've talked to our senator about the fact, you know, the last big deal we got was on TAVT in here. When they came up in the middle of the year, at the first of the year, when their budget started, and said, we're gonna take more of your money. Well, they worked on that in legislation, but there's all that iffy, you know, where the county gets so much, state gets so much as it is, and we just don't know what they're gonna do, and we hope and pray that they don't do anything. But if they're doing a 14% cut across the board, we're the bottom of the food chain. We got nowhere to go. We don't have a printer like Washington,
Yeah.
and we don't have counties like the state. So
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't happen, but with this COVID thing, with everything that we're going through, a budget is always a
Educated.
it is based on prior years, but this is one that's just totally blown out of the water because of COVID. We'll get a better shot of it, I think, next month when we get splashed in from March or April. We'll get splashed in from April. If it stays up, that's going to be a good sign,
Yep.
I think.
Well, 2 months were higher than what we've seen in the prior.
Exactly. Hey, Philip, have you got anything that you want to add? I can put you on speaker if you want any questions you want to ask. You hear me, Philip?
While you're getting him, because this is being recorded, if anybody else has a question, they want them to come up and use the mic here or here. Okay.
there is a mic.
So it can be picked up on the.
Under the Board of Assessors budget, I noticed that they have an increase of $73,000 under contracted services. Can anyone further explain why we have that much of an increase this year?
I can explain it. They're required to do a countywide reevaluation by the state,
Having comments right now.
and it's
I'm going to leave you on.
they're required to have a
Yeah, go ahead. You're right.
countywide reassessment by the state. I talked to not Patty, but Paula Duvall, and that's what that's for. So if we don't, we would be fine. When I first went on the tax assessor board, we were looking at a $50,000 fine. So I think she said the total for that was $75,000
It is, yes.
for the total wide county reevaluation.
That's something we have to contract out. We're not capable of doing that in-house.
It's true. Okay, Philip, Mr. Hartline there, Commissioner Hartline, he doesn't have anything to add. I'll ask one more time, you know, if there's anyone that wants to bring anything to the table tonight while we're all here, regardless of what department in, bring it in, you know, right now. Now's the time to bring it out to the public. And, Jerry?
Hey, under the revenues, we have the HERO grant, which I believe is to deal with the COVID and stuff. How is that dispersed out throughout the budget?
CARES or HERO?
It says HERO grant for $300,000.
It very possibly could have just been in the wrong CARES is right below it with 0, so it might have just pulled to the wrong, but
That's what we don't know, what we're getting yet, that ACC and GMA
Yes.
is fighting for that based on population. And neither one of us know what we're getting.
We'll get something, we're not sure dollar amount and what it'll be. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I have something, it's totally, because I talked to Robin about it. Now, if everybody's through, or I'll go ahead and ask it now. Patty has been getting questions from the stores about the things that passed the other day, the Sunday sales and Sunday liquor by the drink. Robin has been working on the ordinance to go along with that. It requires 2 readings, is that correct?
That's correct.
So he has said we can put that on our on this meeting next week, the budget adoption meeting, as a first reading, and that will speed that up. It can be the second reading at our next county meeting then, rather than having to have another call meeting after that, if everybody's okay with that.
That's assuming the election results are certified.
Yes. Yeah, there's nothing final right now till the election is certified, and that has to be by next Friday, not tomorrow Friday, but next Friday, and can be before, but until that's certified, nothing is done.
Okay. All right, if there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and there's no time frame. We can sit here all night and look at one another, but, it seems like everybody said pretty much what they need to say. And we do have a fellow that won't be with us next year, we know. I read this in the paper, we've got there. If you want to stand up and say something, and, this is a person here that kind of stays in the background a lot, if you've ever been to court or not, but he was hired back in, we brought you on in what,
04?
04? Yep.
04?
Yep.
Yeah, and you know how shy and retiring I am.
Oh, I know, yeah.
But no, I had asked Don about a chance to come up and address the commission, because this will be my last visit with you in the capacity as public defender. I'm retiring from that post effective July 1, and I'm not retiring fully. I'm actually going to work down in Somerville at Bobby Lee Cook's law firm. So if anybody needs me, that's where I'll be. But I wanted to say thank you to the commission and to everybody that I've served with. It's nice to see Lamar back on again. And you all have been really good to me over the years and been very supportive of our program and recognized the importance of it. And I thank you for that. Thank you for the hard work you've done in that regard. I did bring a fellow with me. The way it will work from here, once the end of the month gets here, my chief assistant will become the interim circuit public defender. And then there's a process that will happen to name a replacement. It starts here locally with the CPD supervisory panel. They will pick a name or a list of names and submit it to the director of our agency in Atlanta. The director will actually make the final selection and appointment. If they give the director only one name, then the director has to select from the list, that one name list. The panel, you have John Emmett here locally, is one of the members of the panel, so John will be participating in that process. But I asked my chief assistant, Jad Johnson, to come up here tonight too, so that you all could meet him. He's the fellow you'll be dealing with annually from here on out.
Is he interim? Will he be interim, or until an appointment is made? Is that what you're saying? Or
he will be the interim CPD effective July 1.
Okay.
And then if they choose him as my successor, he'll become the permanent. He is planning to apply for the position, and I hope that he will get it. Jad has been with our program since we started back in 2005. We started taking cases, and he's worked very hard and very well over those years. He has the confidence of the office staff. He has the knowledge and the ability to step right into the position without really skipping a beat. In fact, when I decided I was going to make this move and I was going to bail out, the first thing I tasked him with was the job of putting together the budget for this year, the proposed budget for the upcoming year. And so the budget that you have is more Jad's work than mine, And I will note in his behalf that the total budget submitted we actually were able to cut it down a little bit by about $8,000. So I think he's getting off on the right foot, I hope. But he's here if y'all want to meet him or have a few words with him. Just say thank you all for your support.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you.
We appreciate you. Appreciate all you've done over the years. You know. And I was skeptical when we did that back in '04. You know, I was one of the commissioners that actually had interviewed you and I really, because you know, at that time we were privatizing. We were actually hiring, you know, attorneys as we'd done for years and years, and I couldn't really, until I really put the numbers together and really seen after that first year or so, and we seen, because you really had no idea. You had no idea how much staff, how many people you need on your staff. We didn't know that was a guess, as any guess we ever had is the budget, you know. But after that second year, we could really see, you know, that, man, you know, it made a difference, you know. And I think it was more fair, too, to the people that you represent, too. You know, I mean, as far as giving them a better, maybe a little, you know, better representation, you know. I'll turn it over to you. Give us your full name, you know.
Jan Johnson.
Yeah.
I've been with the office, like David said, since 2005. And for the past several months, I've actually been here stationed in Dade County, handling the business, day-to-day business in Dade County. It's been my pleasure to do so. Really get to know the folks here in the sheriff's office and magistrate office and the DA's office. And I look forward to serving as the interim public defender and hopefully the circuit public defender when that time comes. So hopefully this is not going to be my last time meeting with the Dade County Commission, so hopefully I get to do that in the coming years.
Okay, good enough. We appreciate you. Oh, I forgot about Buzz. He's just going to be playing the coop too. Man, that don't even sound right. No, that's right. You didn't run this time.
Thank him for his service too. Yeah. How many years?
Tell us, if you would, tell us a little bit about the fellow that's going to be taking your place. That actually he's not opposed or whatever, you know. Because I hadn't even thought. I'm glad you said that, Lamar.
Yeah, I decided to retire this year. I didn't run for re-election. This is my 24th year, and Chris Arndt, who's been my chief assistant for many years, he's tried a lot of cases across our 4-county judicial circuit. He'll do a great job. Y'all won't notice a drop in services at all. The only thing we have to worry about right now is the state budget, because they're asking for huge cuts, so that's going to be a little unnerving, and it's a good time for me to leave and dump all that on him, so don't worry about all that. But I appreciate what y'all have done over the years. Y'all been great to our office, and y'all been really good to work with, and appreciate it.
We miss you, Buzz,
for all you've done.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate everyone being here tonight. And this is something, you know, I know you said, well, we've only been here 30 minutes, and what have we accomplished? Well, this is by law. We have to do this. And so we've got a week from today, which will be next Thursday. We'll have a meeting in the same room, the commission, and we'll leave up and we'll call vote to accept our budget as presented. So appreciate everyone being here tonight, and we'll adjourn. Okay, thank you. Thank you.